Hello, super fans. Welcome to Alberta News and Views and the Alberta Report podcast on YouTube. You're not going to believe this. The gun buyback bullshit is back. The Liberals' push for gun buyback program fueled by pressure from, wait for it, Quebec. Public Safety Minister says in leaked audio. Yes, Quebec has been pressuring. This is all politics. Quebec is pressuring the public safety minister to just get this thing done. Just get it done. This is all about politics. That is all Canada is all the time. It is all just a group of buddies. Just a group of buddies in Ontario and Quebec. Just playing a game. Just playing the game of Monopoly while the rest of us suffer. All roads lead to Western independence. Seriously, this needs to stop. From Pierre Poilievre, Mark Carney's minister agrees the hunting rifle ban is a stupid program that should not move forward, but Liberals are doing it anyway. Of course they are. This is a Liberal attack on law-abiding and licensed hunters, farmers, and sports shooters. Here's Pierre Poilievre in question period today. He goes absolutely scorched earth. First, this is from the CCFR. Give them a follow. They got great videos. This is Canada's gun lobby, by the way. Watch Pierre Poilievre confronts Gary, the Minister of Public Safety, and Sean Fraser MP after the safety minister was caught saying he doesn't support the gun buyback. Pierre demands to know why Liberals ignore criminals and go after gun owners. Quote, why won't they drop the politics and save lives? Exactly. Here. I'm going to scooch forward a little bit because it's just over and over and over again. But this is where it gets really good. Here we go.
Conversation about guns. Unfortunately for him, he was caught on tape. Caught on tape, admitting that the gun grab is a waste of money. Caught on tape, admitting it would go over budget. Caught on tape, admitting it would be better just to lock up the gun criminals who are actually doing the crime. Why is it that Liberals only tell the truth when they don't think anyone is listening?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, let me reiterate, it's actually a good thing that this conversation was caught on tape. And in fact, it will counter every single claim that this leader of the opposition is making. Let me be very clear, Mr. Speaker. Canadians want responsible gun control. We are in a position as a government, we committed to it during the last campaign, Mr. Speaker. Canadians gave us a mandate on April the 28th to ensure that we move forward on this program, and we look forward to its implementation.
How the fuck does that guy have a job?
Speaker, while this government blocks criminal justice reforms that would lock up gun criminals, they want to go ahead and take nearly $1 billion away from border security and police officers to go after licensed, law-abiding, trained and tested hunters and sport shooters, a project that the OPP refuses to enforce. Numerous provincial governments have said they will not go ahead with. They've even had to ask Canada Post to go and collect these firearms. The minister himself has now admitted that it won't work. Why won't they drop the politics and save lives?
Yes, Ryan.
The Honourable Minister of Justice.
Mr. Speaker, if the member is concerned about advancing legislation that's actually going to keep Canadians safe, he would work across the aisle with us as we seek to table legislation during this legislative sitting to ensure that violent repeat offenders are kept behind bars, to make sure the most serious offenders are actually facing stiffer penalties. But, Mr. Speaker, it is hard to accept criticism when it comes to keeping our community safe from gun violence from a member who for more than 2 decades has voted against the very specific measures that are designed to take guns off our streets, and he has voted repeatedly on the measures that will weaken our border to prevent the inflow of guns in the first place.
Oh my God.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I and we have voted against policies that have given Canada a 130% increase in gun violence. And speaking of getting things through Parliament, he says seek to introduce. This government has been in place for 10 years. They have softened penalties for repeat offenders. That minister took the summer off and still has not introduced any criminal justice reforms to stop guns. We put forward a 3 strikes you're out law that would lock up the repeat violent offenders. Instead, they're spending $700 million of police resources going after licensed law-abiding people. Why?
Surprise, surprise. He doesn't answer the question. They've been grilling, talking in question period. They've been grilling the Liberals for like a straight hour on this gun buyback disaster. And it's always the same thing. These Liberals, they always say the same thing about the Conservatives. The Conservatives will bring back assault weapons. No, assault weapons have been banned in Canada. There's never, ever been any talk of bringing them back. So then they pivot to the Conservatives are going to bring back assault style weapons. No, they never said that. They would just make it the way that it has always been. And gun crime with legal gun owners is like nothing. It's less than 1%, I'm sure. With homicides, it's brutally low. It really is. And I can't stand that they play this game of create a problem, provide a solution. So what I mean is the Liberals have been at the helm. They've been in power for 10 miserable long years in Canada. For so long that they've created so many problems that people have forgotten, or the ministers have resigned or got fired, something's happened to them. But they've been there for so long now that Canadians have forgot the destruction that they caused. So then they create laws to change or get rid of their initial laws that sucked. And then they congratulate themselves for it. Like the carbon tax. We got rid of the carbon tax. We're helping people save money. We're helping Canadians save money. When they implemented it, it's crazy. I'm going to get myself an aneurysm. Anyway, this week, yesterday, Mark Carney recognized Palestine as a state. I'm not getting into that and the whole thing. What I want to focus on is how Mark Carney is very much like Justin Trudeau, where he will say what he wants and do what he wants, and he just does not care. Going back to July 31st with Leslyn Lewis. He says, just last year, Canada's Parliament voted 204 to 118 on a motion that explicitly stopped short of recognizing a Palestinian state. Yet, the Carney Liberals ignored that democratic decision and unilaterally did it anyway. It's alarming to see this troubling Liberal pattern of circumventing the will of Parliament to play to international audiences, while the Prime Minister acts like a czar when Parliament isn't even in session. Now, this is from Blacklock's reporter back then, saying Mark Carney recognition of Palestinian statehood came with Parliament in recess. Yes, he did this while everyone was in recess. And he said that that there were conditions in place. And the Hamas did not reach those conditions at all. And he did it anyway. So because of that, he is a liar. So today, Leslyn Lewis says, Prime Minister Carney should not have reduced such a significant decision like the recognition of the Palestinian state to an executive order. We don't have executive orders in Canada. It's ridiculous that he has these photos with this fucking desk where he's signing this big thing. No, it doesn't work like that here. Parliament exists to give Canadians a voice in these defining moments, which is why today, everybody online in Canada and Canadians that has half a brain, more than half a brain, is saying, Carney does not speak for us, just like Justin Trudeau. He does not speak for all Canadians. Decisions of this scale should not bypass Parliament. Canadians must be part of this conversation. Yes. Why? Because decisions, like what Mark Carney does in saying all for Canadians, they have consequences. Here is Donald Trump talking about Canada and those that recognize Palestine as a state. Now, keep in mind, we are renegotiating our trade with the United States. Our economy is in free fall. And Mark Carney is in New York answering questions at some stupid seminar, not at work. Here's Donald Trump.
Is there any use at all in pressuring Israel now to come to some sort of longer-term solution?
Well, you could make the case that you're rewarding people, that, you know, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that. And I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are, but I am not in that camp.
Mr. President,
because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas. And I'm not about to do that.
Our trade is over 80% with the United States. And Mark Carney, today, at this conference thing he's at in New York, said he's focusing on diversifying the Canadian economy, turning it into this energy superpower, blah, blah, blah. But he wants to focus on a closer relationship building a closer relationship with China and Europe. Why? Why, when so much of our trade is with the United States already? Why not mend that and work with that? It is the same answer as the gun buyback bullshit. It is all politics. It is all ego. It is always about them. Them. You know why? Because they don't have to foot the fucking bill. That's why. How much money does Canada spend in interest payments a week? Now, this is before the expected over $100 billion fucking budget. To calculate Canada's weekly interest payments on its government debt, we can use data from available sources, blah, blah, blah. 2023-2024 fiscal year are estimated at $81.8 billion. To break this down to a weekly amount, annual interest payments on $81.8 billion, weeks in a year, 52. Weekly calculations, $81.8 billion divided by 52 weeks equals $1.573 billion per week. Now, when you consider all of these teachers, doctors, nurses, tradespeople, everybody struggling, needing money because all of this shit is forced on us, Canada, for some reason, is spending over $1 billion a week just on interest. It's staggering. It's staggering the amount of money that Canada just pisses away every second of every day. This government is spending us into oblivion. As planned, maybe. Completely blind to reality because of ego and politics, maybe. I like to stick with what I do know. And what I do know is today is worse than yesterday and the day before and the day before. And I don't like that because I like a future, a good future, a bright future. All roads lead to Western independence. One last little tidbit with the Jimmy Kimmel shit. ABC, this is from Tim Pool, by the way, the man. ABC didn't get a call from the FCC. Jimmy Kimmel, for the last time, was fired because he was preparing to further blame MAGA for Charlie Kirk's assassination. He was politicizing a murder. You cannot do that in broadcasting. Here is Tim Pool.
Saying on ABC's This Week, we are quickly turning into a banana republic. Alluding to late night host Jimmy Kimmel's suspension following an FCC warning over comments he made, I love the unrepentant evil that is these psychotic demons. I've had to say this now probably 800 times. I'm going to have to say it again later today. I'm going on Piers Morgan's show. Jimmy Kimmel was going to double down. The executive said that advertisers and affiliates were angry and asked him not to do it. Jimmy Kimmel was refusing to apologize and wanted to further blame MAGA. When he refused to back down, they pulled his show. The FCC comments played somewhat of a role, but not really. And then they say following an FCC threat, as if to imply the FCC made a phone call, threatened ABC, and Jimmy Kimmel got pulled. Never.
It is that simple. It really is. Now, I highly recommend, now that all of you know this, go look on Canadian media. Just Google Jimmy Kimmel, and you will see the contrast, the difference in the media from the United States and Canada. Now, why do I always focus on this Jimmy Kimmel story? Because it's very significant with the way that our media is and how they just throw stuff around because it's state funded. If it keeps up, Donald Trump, when he passes these laws, Canada is going to be in a really, really tight spot, especially when it comes to travel, to trade, and demographics. I honestly think that Prime Minister Mark Carney is way out of his depth because he doesn't have to worry about anything. The guy's a bazillionaire, ex-banker and asset manager, investor. None of this stuff that he does to Canada is going to affect his life at all. He can just pick up and move like he does. I think he is blinded, completely blinded by his ego and his bubble that he is in, because it is a bubble. I truly believe that these world leaders have been in this bubble for so long now, they think that they are more powerful or they can do more than they actually can. And when the time comes, whether it's economic collapse or trade rebellion, I don't know. You look at what's going on around the world, really, it could be anything. But when something does happen, who is going to fix it? And I'm going to tell you who's going to be fixing it. It's going to be you. It's going to be you and I. That's who's going to be fixing it. And it's not going to be easy because times have changed. The community is gone, but we can rebuild it. All roads lead to Western independence, get rid of the blob, complete reform, government. Imagine a government built by the people, for the people. Imagine controlling your destiny. A guy should almost start a libertarian party. I've always thought about that in Canada. Well, not in Canada, in Alberta. I'm not really for the Conservative Party, but they're the best. They're what we got right now. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they do. I really don't. I wish they would be conservative. If you're going to say you're conservative, be a conservative. I get the Liberals. They've always been all over the place. And I totally get the NDP. They're just like the crazy liberals that definitely will never be anything other than a communist or an NDP Labor Party, something stupid, right? But I've always wondered, why isn't there a good political party in Alberta with normal people? Like normal, hardworking, just normal people. Like a libertarian party. I highly recommend you look up the definition of libertarian party and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going to keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. All of you out there, like, share, and take care, and follow me on Substack, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. And thanks for listening.